We have so much talent that's in the Philippines that people tend to take that for granted. And we want to just like bring that back to everyone and be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Just appreciate what you have, appreciate where you come from.
That was a hoot!
What is poppin', everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Raucous Modern Life podcast, a lifestyle show which features conversations with some of the most interesting and inspiring young adults living here in the Philippines. The purpose of this show is to educate the listeners and myself about different hot topics in Filipino society and culture while providing quality kalokohan. Let's get to it. With the current pandemic and typhoons hitting the country, it is always important to shop local and support our communities. That's why I ditched that bare bottle honey and moved on to Mama B. Mama B is a small shop that sells 100% raw honey from the rich mountains of Mindoro, bringing you premium quality honey that tastes like it was just squeezed out of the comb. Not only will you be supporting local businesses, but you will also be supporting harvesters from the small communities that have also been affected from this pandemic. If you're interested in ordering from Mama B, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram under Mama B and at mamab.ph respectively, or contact them at 0917-776-0852. That's MAMA capital letter B for Mama B. Now, let's get into the episode. What's poppin', everyone, and welcome to the season finale of the Raucous Modern Life podcast. If you enjoy alcohol and are in your 20s, which you probably are because only really my friends listen to this podcast, then you've probably had a couple of drunk nights on Zoom during this quarantine. I also bet that I could describe to you exactly how those nights panned out. So let me do a little telepathy real quick. So you're on a Zoom call with like more than 5 friends, all talking over each other due to that Philippine internet delay, screaming at your laptop, thinking that you'd be better heard. And finally, when all things are said and done, and you finally ended the call, you find yourself lying down in your bed with your world spinning, wondering how you got this fucked up. Well, I'm gonna tell you why, good sirs and ma'ams. It's because alcohol has been a part of your weekly social routine since you were 18. And like most people in the Philippines, probably even sooner. So whether you like it or not, alcohol will still probably be a part of your life until the hangovers become unbearable. Initially, you think this is a bad thing, that you gotta stop drinking already. But just think about those small alcohol businesses that you love and how you're actually keeping them alive with each purchase. So that's why I have on show today some of the members of a local alcohol business to talk about how they've persevered throughout this quarantine. And they are the membros of Jesus Juice, Franklin Stewart, and Tuwi Park. What's up, boys? Thank you so much for being on the show.
What's up?
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
dude.
Season finale pala, dude.
Yeah,
Wow,
dude.
perfect timing.
Yeah, exactly. Gonna take a little break after this, and Flynn here is a seasoned podcaster. This is his podcast number 2 now, so
Number
he
two.
already,
Number two.
he knows how this works. And yeah, luckily for me, they sent over their newest product, which is the Judas juice. We'll talk a bit more about that later on in the show. But yeah, I'm just happy to have you guys on. And actually, for the loyal listeners of the Raucous Modern Life podcast, back in season 1, I think it was episode 2 that I had with Ariana, they also sent over a couple of bottles to me. And we were drinking it on the show and we were talking about it too. So it's just nice how it kind of goes in full circle. And we're back here with the actual Jesus Juice people.
Thank you again
Yeah.
for having us, Rocket.
Of course, cheers before we start.
Pleasure.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
Agoy.
Cheers to that.
Tagay pala.
Tagay.
Tagoy.
Tagoy. That's my friend pala. Not Tagoy. Shout out to Tagoy though. But yeah, happy to have you guys on. And I don't know if you guys listened to my podcast before, but if you have, you already know what's coming next. So let's start the pod, as I always do, by asking the question, what's poppin'?
What's poppin'?
So boys, what's poppin'?
Who wants to go first? Do you want to go first or?
All right. Yeah. I spent a year in Spain from last September 2019 until September 2020. Came home and then I started a ready-to-eat frozen foods business with my brother. So we're selling that. That keeps me busy most of the
What's
week.
the name, bro? What's the name?
Oh yeah,
What's the name?
Fambam
Drop that.
Favorites.
Plug that shit. Hey.
Fambam Favorites.
Okay.
Yeah. So my mom is a chef by profession, and she had a cooking school. So and we grew up around the cooking school, and so now we're just trying to apply what we learned then into the food now. So yeah,
That's it. What kind
that,
of food do you guys selling for like the people that don't know what Fam Bam Faves are?
a lot. So the concept is ready to eat frozen foods. So I'll cook up the dish for you, freeze it, and then you'll get it frozen. When you're ready to eat, pop it in the oven or the microwave, and you have dinner. So there's just like a balsamic chicken and pork adobo. We've got crispy pork belly chips, beef tapa with rice pilaf. And then also I do like freshly cooked meals. So like mushroom risotto topped with salmon.
That looks really good. That
Yeah.
looks so
Pretty
good.
Pretty good. Not gonna brag, but it's pretty good. Yeah.
Nah, you can brag all you want, bro. I mean, it's you gotta be proud of your shit. What would you say is your favorite dish that you make personally?
Oh, dude, today I spent like 8 hours making this chicken pie, chicken and beef
Wow.
pies. So it's a pie, basically like a chicken and beef filling topped with a like buttery crust. A lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of work, but like if I can spend most of my day doing this, and I love cooking, so that's fun. This and then thinking of ways to sell Jesus juice and making a lot of Jesus juice. I can't complain really.
Of course, and as long as you're happy about it, and that chicken pie sounds delicious. I bet Flynn's English ass is like salivating. Ooh, pie, baby, savory
Dude,
pies, baby.
I'm actually vegetarian, so that's a
Oh, okay, okay. All right. You know,
little stepping
that's
stone
fine.
there,
But
dude. It's-
pies are still good though. Like I mean, sweet pies.
yeah,
Blueberry
definitely.
pie?
They do like
Apple
cheese
pie.
on
Then when
onion
you come
pies.
home, I've
Dude.
got lying.
Laing, bro. Honestly, I love laing. Like that's one of my favorite like Filipino dishes.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, like what's laing made of, anyways? Like what is
Lying,
laing?
taro
That's
leaf.
gata, right?
Gata,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's
It's,
get that.
it's
Yeah.
a stew. It's a taro leaf stew
Mm.
with gata. Yeah, a bunch of other spices and herbs. Everyone has their own recipe of a lying, no,
Yeah.
in their house, or
Mhm.
even an adobo.
Yeah,
So
just
they,
like
Yeah,
any
that's
other
true.
Filipino dish, like they all have their like twist to it, and that's what's awesome about Filipino food. You could go to like somebody else's house or a completely different restaurant, and the dish almost tastes entirely different. But it's a good thing, different in a good way. Most of the time,
yeah.
can't say that for all. But that's great. Nice to know that you're busy, and at least you're enjoying what you're doing. So it's like cooking is like if it's one of your passions, making drinks is one of your passions, then you know I'm sure it doesn't feel like work all the time. I mean, there's some times where it's like fuck, I'd rather be chilling.
Mm.
But like you know, um, it is what it is. What about you, Flynn? What's been busy?
So yeah, my year actually has been pretty busy. Well, we had um, I'm actually studying currently, so I'm finishing my second year now. I'm doing it in the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences. I'm taking international business as my major, um, and this whole coronavirus has actually halted my travels to Amsterdam. So I'm currently residing in Salisbury, which is a town in the UK, um, next to family and stuff, because I study in London. So me studying in Amsterdam is an exchange program under the Erasmus program. So I applied for that in my first year. I got accepted in my second year, and I'm currently studying virtually with Amsterdam now. Yeah, no, my year has been quite busy. We've been looking at obviously new ways to try and adapt to this virus situation, which we're probably going to talk about these things just in a bit. But yeah, it's just trying to find time to fit everything together because I study I work on Jesus Juice and I work as well as a bartender. So it's just like juggling all these things. I actually like it dislocated my shoulder, which I'm on like some painkillers right now.
Oh, really?
So, but you know, like it is what it is, like what you said. So we just try and find time to, fit everything together. And yeah, that's what's been popping, bro.
Yeah, dude. What happened to your shoulder? I'm just curious. Like,
Okay, full disclosure, I was using a rope to stretch. Like obviously, like we have this new fad now, like rope flow.
Yeah,
shout out to
of
Rope
course.
Flow Philippines.
yeah,
bro.
shout out to Silify.
Like I love their community right there, Phi, Gio, and I was just messaging them like I'm so envious. Like I want a rope, like but obviously they don't ship internationally, so they're like, oh, we'll send you to this website where you can get one. I got a rope eventually, and then I was like, like I'll do some rope flow, dude. So I was getting into it. I was like, damn, this is good. Like I'm starting to do like some figure eight, whatever rope thing. And then there was one day I was being stupid. Like I was looking at my mirror and I was doing a stretch. You know when you go to the gym and you get like a stick and you
go
put
like
it
that.
up and then you put it behind. Yeah, exactly
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
bro. But I did it with two ropes. Oh no, I just did it with one rope. One like that. I did it once and I felt like a little
Pop.
bit, like a little something. Like I was like, oh shit,
Okay.
what's that? I was like, fuck, okay. But the next time it won't happen again. I don't know why
Yeah.
I thought about doing it again. And when I did it the second time, I heard a rip, and like it just dislocated. I was like, wow. I tried putting it back, but that usually happens because it happened before. I tried putting it back, but it didn't, and I was like, wow, I need to drop everything. And I just dropped everything and laid down on my bed, and like paramedics came in, went to the hospital.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
I was on like gas and air. I was laughing gas. They put me on morphine. Dude, it was painful, but like
Damn.
yeah. So never again that
Yeah.
sort of stretch for anyone. That doesn't work, guys. But yeah, that was just me being stupid. Like the rope flow community has been so supportive, even asking me like, how do you feel like afterwards? Like they felt kind of bad because they thought it was, like they were
Because of
getting me
them.
into rope flow and this happened. But like obviously it's not their fault. Like
Mhm.
it was my complete idiocy that made everything like go downhill. But it's fine. Like I'm getting a physiotherapy on the 26th, so we'll see what happens.
Hey, that's
Just
good.
a stretch, no?
Yeah.
Just a stretch, bro. Like
Just
a
a
lot of
stretch.
shit happens to me, man. Like it's so weird,
Okay.
bro.
It's the moral of the story. Don't stretch.
Don't stretch.
Don't stretch. Go straight into the workout, baby. No,
Straight
but
to the
I think
workout. No
yeah,
joke.
I think that stretch is like okay, but you need to have that range of motion already set. Like you can't just go into it. Like you can't just go diving into that
I
stretch.
think it's okay. I think it's okay with a stick because the stick doesn't move.
Oh,
Because
that's true.
the rope, depending on where you pull it, it will move.
Yeah.
So if your
That's
right hand is stronger than your left, it's gonna pull your like. I feel like that's what happened. But I keep like, I just keep remembering the sensation of it like popping
Yeah.
out, and it's just
Was that your right shoulder or your left one?
it's my left. Sorry, I think this.
Oh, it's-
my thing is
yeah, it's
mirroring. This
mirroring.
is my left
Yeah.
shoulder. Yeah,
Okay.
asshole, bro.
Yeah. Damn. I don't know, man. Maybe it's an MLL thing with the dislocated shoulders. You got Johnny, then it's you.
Yeah, dude. Kasi we go to the championships all the time. Kasi
Okay. We'll get more into that
Wear and tear.
later.
it's
let's-
wear and
That's
tear.
an
let's-
ep on its own. That's an ep on its own.
That is an episode in its own. I should definitely do that in the future. But other than Flynn's shoulder, it's nice to know that you guys are, at least coping during these tough times.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the meat of the show. So, as I mentioned earlier, these two boys are from the group that started this banger drink called Jesus Juice. So, I guess for my first question, let's rewind and back to where it all started by asking, what is the origin story of Jesus Juice?
Oh no! Before we answer this, cheers muna. Kasi
Okay, sige, sounds good. Cheers.
getting thirsty, bro. I'm getting thirsty.
Yeah.
Kailangan.
Kailangan.
Got that thumbs up from our special guest who will be dropping in a bit.
Also,
Ayun.
this is the new drink called Judas Juice, but
Yeah.
the name of the brand is still Jesus Juice. The original drink we launched a while back is Jesus Juice, but this is the second drink, our tridor of a drink, Judas Juice.
Mhm.
So we'll talk about the new drink in a bit now. But if you want to know about the origin of Jesus Juice, Tuwi has been there since day one. And like if we go way back, like even
Let's go.
before the launch in June 2019, we go probably about 2013, 2014. We would
High
go
school
to
days.
high school days, bro. Like we would go to our friend's house in Tagaytay, and we would like make a mixed drink, which we called at the time sangria. So we just mix a lot of stuff, and then we just like bring it with us to, let's say, a house party, friend's place in a beach house, etc. And then we just drink. And that was just like, that was the environment that we wanted to create. Like we want a nice place for everyone to just sit down, relax, have a drink on hand, something that isn't too strong, something that you can continuously drink towards the entire night. And from there, it just developed over the years. I went abroad to
Yeah,
the UK.
Flynn, I think your despedida before when you first went
Yes,
to the
that's
UK,
exactly the one. Yeah.
we went out of town to Anton Manzano's house in Tagaytay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we whipped up another batch of that. It was in those 5-gallon
Those
water
blue,
What is
containers.
that
parang,
called?
yeah,
blue
with like
Yeah,
with the little knob.
Vida,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that it was there. It was like we were there drinking it, and we're like, damn, this shit's really good, huh? Like we could sell this if we like put our shit together.
Actually,
But
no, we
needed a
didn't think
name.
about
We needed a
selling.
name also.
No, we didn't think about selling it then. At the time, it was just something that we would do. Like it was just so often that we did it. Nah, it was like it was always incorporated into our Newman sessions. And then it was just, I think it was when I moved to the UK, and we were just like, I needed a way to communicate with my friends, with my buddies, like to get the whole crew back together again. And that's when we decided, like, if I launch a product in the UK, in the Philippines, will you guys be down for it? And then that's when that's when it happened on June 2019. We brought Jesus Juice to Tortuga in Poblacion, and then I invited the buddies again, like Paul, Dre, Tuwi, Jomo. We have a picture now with all 5 of us in it, and we were just like, this maybe because I'm gonna be leaving in like 2 months time. I need someone to to be able to continue this, and that's when I went to Tuwi. I went to one night in BF, like we met up in BF in a Korean freaking restaurant.
KBBQ.
Not even KBBQ, bro. It's just like some authentic. I don't know what it was, but it was just like some Korean place. I was like, bro, let's talk about Jesus. And I talked to him about it, and then Tuwi was definitely down. He was like, yeah, you know what, let's do it. And then we called Dre, and then we spoke to Paul, we spoke to Jomo, and then we were just like, let's just make this something. From there, Jesus Juice was born.
I remember, you came home, I think it was your sister's wedding also, right?
Yeah.
And you came home and you were like, mate, I think I know what to call this drink. It's Jesus Juice. And I was just like, hell yeah, dude, you should come home, do a launch, see what people think.
Yeah, no, my sister's wedding, yeah, exactly. My sister's wedding was a year before, or not a year, like about 6 months before the launch. And it was just thinking of like what we were gonna name it at the time, and like if we had any ideas of how it was gonna work. And then I was
how did
always,
it
like,
lead
keeping in
to
touch.
Jesus Juice? Actually, I'm curious about that
Which,
as
the
well.
name?
Yeah,
The
the
name?
name.
Have you
Okay,
heard of
so-
Eminem?
Huh?
Yes, I
No,
have.
dude.
Quite well.
Okay, yeah.
The real Slim
Go,
Shady.
Tuwi, go ahead.
No, so Eminem has a song called Flynn, what's it called?
Ass like that.
Ass Like That.
Ass like that. Yeah, of course.
There's a verse where he goes, I drink
No, I make Jesus
I
juice.
make
Take a
Jesus
sip
juice.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
what it's
basically,
like.
no,
And it just slapped hard.
Yeah, it's been mentioned in a lot of pop culture. Like Eminem uses it. Michael Jackson even used it before, not for any good publicity, but like it was mentioned. It was mentioned there. And I
Good
also
around.
like. Do you guys know rules of survival?
Nah, what's
Like
that?
that
The
mobile
game,
game.
the
Like parang ano,
Oh,
Art Ross. You know Ross? You don't know Ross, bro? It's
I
basically
it's
parang
a
PUBG.
parang PUBG. Okay,
Parang
so
PUBG sa
battle
mobile.
royale style.
Yeah,
battle
Battle
royale,
Royale,
but it
dude.
was the like back in the day low graphics. It was
Low
just it was
graphics talaga. Dude, that was my username, Jesus Juice. And I was like,
Really?
dude, parang this is super laugh trip. And I was like, I'm just gonna keep using it. And then I was like, I'll just name the drink Jesus Juice. So we were like that's basically what happened. So
Damn, that's an awesome story. Just knowing that, it dated way, way back, like even before you guys even thought of starting a business. And I think it's cool how you guys also brought it into reality. What's that word that everybody use? Um, but
manifest.
manifested. Yeah, you manifested it. It was an idea and y'all manifested it. And it's just really cool that, you were able to start up a business with your buddies. And so you guys came out with this new product, the Judas Juice, and which I am enjoying right now.
Judas.
It's the Judas of the alak in the Pinoy land. Oh my god, that animation's so accurate.
This
that's
animation laugh trip.
that's how I'm feeling right now. Exactly. Especially that guy next to Judas on his left. It's just like
Yeah.
but yeah, so you guys came up with a new product. We're all enjoying it right now. And for this particular segment, we're gonna have a special guest on who helped with the production of this product. So, Mr. Jerome Mello, will you join the show? What's up? What's up? Don't forget to unmute. The real Jack Mello.
No, but hey, this is a funny slang, dogs. This is really
It's very dubs talaga. But yeah, so you guys were pretty much like the masterminds for behind Judas Juice, and I don't wanna discredit sila Paul, sila Jomo, but I guess I just wanna ask like, what is Judas Juice? And the bottle looks very similar to Jesus Juice, and the taste is quite similar too. So why don't you explain how you guys came up with this concept and what exactly it is?
Okay, so in its essence, the two drinks are pretty similar. There's some, what do you say, common denominators, yeah. But we traded in a few of the elements, two of the elements, and made the drink a little bit sweeter to allow more alcohol to be in the drink without like having because too much alcohol in the drink, it's
Yeah, it's
fun
not.
and all, but like
Yeah.
yeah, we don't like Judas Juice. It's stronger, but you're still not gonna have the asim face or something.
Yeah, for sure. How much stronger are we talking here?
And it's pretty strong. It's pretty strong. So
It's 10%, bro.
That
Just say it. It's 10%.
10%.
10% versus what was Jesus Juice?
Jesus Juice is at
7.6.
7.6.
Okay, okay. 6. So yeah, you guys came up with a stronger drink, and which I like because S deals, get a little bit
Yeah.
crazier, a little bit faster, get a little turned earlier, and yeah, actually before the show, you guys mentioned also that you guys gained some inspiration when Flynn visited you while you were in Spain. So like, how much did that have an effect on the creation of Judas Juice?
So
Yeah.
I visited Tuwi. When was that? 2020, no?
Yeah, January.
2020, January of 2020. He was still in Spain, and where were you? Madrid, right?
Madrid, yeah, you came over and
Yeah.
then yeah. Shout
Yeah,
out to
so
Louis, yeah, to my roommates.
Yeah.
Shout
Dude,
out.
thank you guys for hosting me. Honestly, man, like I saved so much without paying for a hotel. Awesome,
For
love you
sure.
guys. But yeah, I went to Spain, and I was like, yo, Tui, like 2020, right? This is our year. Like we need something. Like we need to think of something because we have like all these lists of what we wanted to do. We had like possible new things to happen in Siargao, which we were thinking, might happen. We were thinking of like, oh, maybe we can get about 6 events this year. We'll have that as our quota. And then, we were oblivious, obviously, to what was going to happen. But when we were there, we went on more of like an R&D sort of research and development trip. Like we had different wines. Well, we only had like one type of wine. We bought like 12 bottles of wine. We made Jesus juice again for like his friends there in Spain. And then we were just thinking, like 2020, we need to think of something. We need to add like a new flavor or a new spin on Jesus juice. Like Jesus juice has been there for almost a year now, like even more than a year. So we have to adapt. We have to give our customers what they need, because this was straight after a vinyl launch for Sundrop, and it was a great turnout. Like we had a lot of people come in, and they tried our drinks. They were super happy about the product. So we were like, I think it's about time that we branched out, and it's about time that we come up with something revolutionary that can, be also a spin-off of what Jesus Juice is. And like Tuwi was thinking of, why don't we name it a different sort of a name, like a different name or closely related. And we were just thinking of like different type of names that we were coming up with, and Judas Juice was the name that came out. And
it's a long time coming. I feel also it's been over a year since the launch of the first drink. And I think also, like when you come up with, like when you have a good product as the first thing you're selling as a company, you kind of fall in love with that product, and you're like, damn, this drink's so good, we're gonna make money selling this. And it like we were satisfied with just having that one really good drink. But in that trip, we were making different sorts of juices every night, and we were like, you know what, like there are other better drinks. There are other drinks to be made. Sorry.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. And
so the idea. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, man. Go.
Okay. The idea of Judas Juice was sort of like we came up with it during our trip to Spain, but it took a while after that for us to actually get into it. And because obviously we had to overcome certain barriers, like
the pandemic,
what bottle are we going to use,
and
what
the
stickers
pandemic,
are we going to use, and the pandemic also, which happened. And like it was just like there was a lot of different elements that came into it. There was also even a point there where we were so used to having events. Like our whole company, or like our whole startup, was built upon events. Like we wanted to bring about good cheers. We're a catalyst for fun. That's literally what our slogan is. We're a catalyst for fun. We want to curate events. But because of the pandemic, we were like, how are we able to bring about the same level of sort of the same feel that people get when they're at home? And like Jomo even called me one day and was like, bro, we have a big opportunity here. Like people are at home. I'm at home also. Like because he works for a big multinational company. Let's not disclose the name. But he was like, I'm at home. I have a lot of free time now. Like I'm able to, do other things on the side. Let me know like how we can, progress. How can we make this go further? And he was the one who suggested, let's focus now on bottle sales, because before we would make events, we wouldn't get much of like commission from it. Like you would have an event, everyone goes home happy and stuff, but like we don't earn as much money as what we earn now through bottle sales. And it was Joma's idea for that. He was like, let's go money. Let's be money oriented first. Let's earn some money for the company so that we have a big enough sort of, money to spend later on for like an event, like an end of year event and stuff. And then, it's just from there, we started selling Jesus Juice again. And then it was just early on in, what month is it now? It's November, right? So I think in like late October, we were just like, I think it's about time that we bring like Judas Juice into the picture, and then from there, I was like, you know what, we should get some help, and bloody hell, Jerome Mello came into the picture, man.
Bloody hell.
This man right here, Jerome Mello. You know, I was
Cheers to
like,
this
this
good-looking
guy.
man.
Yeah, let's cheers muna to
Cheers.
that, bro.
Yeah,
Let's
cheers.
to
You know,
Jack.
he's on the show, so welcome to the show, Jack.
Bradley, do you please boys?
And yeah.
Bro, I can't hear you, man.
So how did Jack become a part of this team? And you know, Jack, maybe you could share your experience on how you became part and what exactly you were doing for Jesus Juice.
Okay, so how it started, no? So yeah, as Franklin and Tuwi mentioned, like they mentioned the story of how Judas Juice was formed, and I guess yun nga, they needed help also because the other people in the group are busy, and as well as them, they're also busy. So one ride home, I was with Tuwi. I think we delivered food to Cheska for Fambam around Ayala Alabang, and yeah, we were just talking on the way home, and he asked me if I was down to help out. He was asking about insights about the new product for Judas Juice, and yeah, I was trying to share my own insights. Because I like selling stuff like on my
He's a
resume.
hustler.
That's my full time job. Like right before I resigned, basically selling stuff. I was selling milk before going here. So yeah, it's been a big change trying to like sell alcohol or alcoholic beverage. But yeah, that's how it started. Just Twitch asked me on the way home. We live in the same village, and yeah, from there I've been helping out. Letting people know about this Tridor drink. So yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That's
and
solid,
we also thought that Jack was a good addition to this project because he comes up with all these promotional materials, which is brilliant. Like all the things that you see now on Instagram about Judas Juice, this is all Jack. So we've been getting a lot more traction from that. People are enjoying the stories. They're like, wow, like I'm actually invested in this. He came up with like some what was it, Jack?
Yeah.
Like yeah. If you want to explain that, bro.
Yeah.
So yun nga, when Tui mentioned to me about the new drink on the way home, I kind of thought like, so if this is a new beverage, there's probably like a new formula, meaning a new recipe. So I was like, parang it'd be nice to tell people that it's missing, like Judas is a traitor, meaning he'll probably do something, to that scale. So yeah, we play to that, playbook of saying it was a missing recipe. Hopefully someone can find it, and hopefully people will be helping us. So yeah, up to the point now it was found, and it's just honestly it's found in Tui's house. So yeah.
Si Tuwi pala yung Judas, bro.
Yeah, that's why Tuwi is Judas pala. But yeah, dude, I could say that I was one of those people invested with the story also because I was so curious. I was like, what is this Judas Juice thing? And with the story was pretty sick, and sick logo, all of that stuff, and yeah, props to
Yeah,
you, Jack.
Shout out by the way, logo designs, Isa Barte. She is
Isa
a
Barte.
mastermind.
The Isa Barte, as in
The Isa Barte.
Isabarte.art. Dude,
Yes,
alam mo na.
that's the one.
She's my Führer in FDF.
She comes up with all these brilliant designs, bro. Thank you, Isa.
Dude, yeah, no doubt. And one of the things I love about your product is you guys really are like focused on bringing different things and people together. So you guys tied up with those Southbound sessions. You guys did the Tortuga launch, and then you had a couple of other ones like openings in bars, and like even this one with the Raucous Modern Life podcast. Like it's great how you guys are like, despite being in quarantine, you're still being able to connect different people that you guys have, and I guess that's what the drink is really all about anyways. It's like, being able to socialize, being able to connect with more people, even like during the pandemic. So I think that's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was something that we wanted to do just to, put a community together, get people together. And that was also one of the reasons why we wanted to align with Southbound Sessions. So just another shout out. No? Southbound Sessions, they do
Shout out
live
to William.
recordings of, shout out to William, big boy, boss man William. They do live recordings of artists, like Filipino original Pinoy music. Like they go to William's studio and then they record there. We have Jesus Juice as a sponsor for them. Like we create the atmosphere also, like a good relaxed vibe. So yeah, we've always aligned with music and art. That was always something that we found as our passion, like our direction that we wanted to go towards. So when William had that idea during the first early like months of the pandemic, he was like, guys, we can't do shows in, what do you call this, in 19 East Bayan, or like basically places in Poblacion, places around the metro. They're like, all these artists aren't performing, but we can still bring it to them through a live recording that we can post on Facebook Live, Instagram. So we were like, yeah, hell yeah. Like he messaged me, he was like, yo, are you down for something like this? I was like, bro, I'm 100% down. Let me know what you need. So like from then on, we just stuck. So yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah, and that's awesome because it's like, SYF, y'all are just, supporting your friends.
Support your friends.
Yeah,
bro.
exactly. Bringing people together. And yeah, I guess before we end this segment, I should give like, my honest review of the
please
Judas
give us your
Juice
honest review.
product. So after I'm pretty much done, well, like probably half of the bottle is in here now. So like if you can see, like, this is empty, so it's all in here. And I guess my impressions is like, it's sweet but not overwhelming. So it's not significantly more sweet than Jesus Juice, which is great. Very smooth actually, despite the higher alcohol content, which I was a little bit surprised with. Though that alcohol content is for real. Like I'm getting pretty buzzed right now. Not gonna fucking lie. Like I'm like starting to sweat a little bit more. I'm in aircon already. It's cold weather, but it's for real. So if you want like an S-Deals drink, hit that shit up. And I can really taste the natural fruit juices. Like I think the taste that really stand out for me is the apple and probably the cranberry. Those two I think are the ones that are the most dominant. But there's a little tanginess as well from like the citrus. Was that orange? Is it orange or lemon?
Calamansi.
Calamansi. Yeah. Hey, local baby. Support local. But yeah, just
mango. I think mango's the
mango.
one. The other element. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't get so much of the mango, but it's just delicious, guys. Like you guys should get on that shit. Like I really wish I was just like on a sunbed by the beach drinking this. It'd be like perfect. But soon.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I mean, progress, and it's gonna come soon, hopefully. Christmas break is around the corner, so hopefully I can get a little escape and enjoy my Judas Juice there. But yeah, that was great. Oh, sorry, go ahead. You want to add one last thing?
No, I just said, yeah, buddy.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Let's go. All right, but dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty amats now. Not been drinking. I haven't been.
Cheers.
Cheers,
yeah. Before this segment ends, we'll cheers. Thank you so much, Jack, for joining this segment. You can actually stay on the call if you wanna get a live broadcast of the podcast. But yeah, after the break, we'll talk a little bit more about like what it's like running a business amidst the pandemic and what it's like having a business with childhood homies. But first, let's head into the break. This episode of the Raucous Modern Life podcast is brought to you by Mama B. The Apis dorsata, commonly known as the giant honeybee, is found locally in the lush mountains of Mindoro and also produces one of the best quality honey in the world. Mama B brings you that top quality honey right to your doorstep. Most honey manufacturers actually dilute their products with sucrose and other fillers, giving it that extra sweet and viscous texture. Mama B, on the other hand, brings you 100% pure organic honey that's perfect for your morning oats or tea. On top of that, you will also be shopping local, which is great for the economy and at the same time support our local harvesters amidst the pandemic. I highly recommend all of you to order from Mama B. To order, you can search them up on Facebook under Mama B and on Instagram at mamab.ph or contact them at 0917 776 0852. That's MAMA capital letter B for Mama B. Sweeten up your day with Mama B. And we're back. Alright, so you guys, as you mentioned earlier, run this business with some of the brothers that you've known for years now. And that's Jay Palacios, Jomo Fillard, and Paul Nugget. The scoundrels of Muntinlupa Little League. Scoundrels because for some context and that I already mentioned earlier before, I played for Elam all my life, and Elam is basically I guess the rival league of MLL, and yeah, so we just make jokes and just fun banter. The real rival was Tanawan Marikina. Yeah, but like I was saying, it's just funny for me.
In the Philippines.
Huh?
Lots of good baseball in the Philippines.
Yeah. And for me, it's just funny because the baseball community is so small, and after all of our baseball careers, we all ended up being pretty good friends, naman. And when you get into the UAAP level, at least for Tuwi and I, we had a lot of teammates that also came from the provinces. So it's just funny how you have these little petty rivalries with other teams, but at the end of the day, it's just all love, especially in the baseball community here.
No, it's like you play against each other and you kind of want to rip each other's heads off, but after that, it's a different bond, no? That
Yeah,
you can appreciate after.
yeah,
Even
definitely.
as soon as the game ends, well, for me at least, I'm very competitive. I had a hard time separating that during the game. I'd be fuck man, I'm trying to win here, but
Yeah.
yeah.
The Mamba mindset, took over. Yeah, I'm never gonna forget because Tuwi played for LaSalle for all his life, and then I played for Ateneo pa, and then there was this one year, I think it was in the juniors UAAP. Tuwi and I were friends now, cause a lot of mutual friends from Zabal, and then we had a couple of drunk nights together, and it was it was a legit friendship, and so he had one also with Rad, a pretty good friendship, but it was the UAAP finals, and then Rad hit a lazy grounder routine play from second to first, and for some reason I don't know why, but he decided to slide at first base, and then after that Tuwi took some offense to that. He stared him down, and he was just pumping his chest what the fuck, Rad, I thought we were friends. And then Rad was just no, fuck you, because Rad also gets super pitik, sprak dito. So it was just funny because at the end of the day we're all bros, but it's it's sports, tempers flare, but yeah, you guys have been all buddies, as in the Jesus Juice boys, as you can see in the photo for those who are watching the podcast. And I guess I just want to ask, I've heard from countless people, don't start a business with your friends because it will only lead to arguments. And you guys seem to have prospered, throughout this process. And I'm sure there have been arguments too, but we can dive into it. And I guess I just want to ask, what's it like running a business with some of your childhood homies?
Well, yeah. So as Franklin said earlier, he came home, had his lunch, and then he reached out to me. We met up, and then he was just let's do this together. And so the next step was to looking for people we wanted to do this with. And yeah, we did. Everyone's heard of that, not doing business. You shouldn't do business with your friends and all. But then we thought about it. Each of us growing up, we were friends, but we also recognized that we had different skills and different the good traits that would complement each other. Also, the fact that we were meeting up twice a week just to hang out anyway. Might as well try and find a way to like make some money out of it.
Mm-hmm. True.
Also, the fact that we're fucking champs, baby. Fucking champs.
I can't say shit about that. That's facts. That's straight up facts.
No, but like what Tuwi was saying, yeah, it just came natural at one point. Like even that picture that shows all of us there, that was before we decided to, like have everyone together. Like we just had a picture. These are my boys who just came in. They were about the first ones there. They showed so much support, and like we were like, wow, this is gonna be something. Like we're gonna make this happen. And Tui was the first person I reached out to because Tui obviously is my neighbor. We grew up. We had Newman sessions like in his house. We get that shit crazy in his house, So I was like, this guy is like, we need to meet up, and then from there we assemble. Like who's gonna be part and like how are we gonna do it. We all had like different traits, different talents. Dre is a really good seller. Like he works in real estate. Paul has loads of connections. Like
And
this guy is a
Paul's
hard
been buying
worker.
and selling anything and everything since he was like 19, 20 years old.
Anything. Yeah, exactly.
He's a hustler
like
too.
Jomo, he's a hustler, man. Jomo has the brains for like numbers. Like that man's a machine. And Tui's just like Tui's been in the food and beverage industry like because his parents were in it as well. So he has a lot of knowledge in that sense. And he had a lot of connections. He was working in a co-working space, which gave us a lot more, gave her a broader field for like
Reach.
looking at broader reach. There you go. So it just made sense, having everyone all there together. There are friends at the end of the day. Like you say, it's hard to run a business with your friends. I agree. Like we do have some disagreements, like which is natural, but at the end of the day, we are friends, and the level of friendship that we've kept throughout the years, like business comes second to that, and everyone knows this. Like everyone knows this. Whoever works with their friends should know this, that like they are your friends, and the business should come second because you do want to maintain a good relationship at the end of the day. Like we were saying, yeah, it's challenging because we're all busy at the end of the day. We all have our own jobs. We all have our own thing to do. This for us is just some part-time work, but like it's challenging, but it's rewarding at the same time because we're learning different things. We're learning new things that we never thought we would learn before, and it's great because from the start of everything, launching it in Tortuga to where we are now, we actually have some sort of, we're making sense of how we can operate, and it's good that we're like we previously didn't know how to, let's say, do a production cycle for, like, let's say, bottling up our bottles to sell, because obviously before that we were just aligning more into events where we would have it ready on the day itself, sell it on the day itself, and then tapos, that's it. But now we have bottling, we have like where we're gonna keep it, what's our shelf life, who do we contact in case we want to get new like sticker designs, new merchandise. So these are all the things that we're learning now, like where our bottle suppliers are coming from. So these are new things that we never thought we would ever be dealing with, and now that we are dealing with it, it's rewarding. It's something that we never thought would be possible.
And I feel like our friendship has grown deeper also in the last few years, because of the business. We're learning different things about each other that you'd think after like 12 years hanging out together, you'd know everything about your guys, right? But you see like, oh yeah, these people someone reacts this way to this thing when it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like learning the tendencies about one another and learning, I guess, how to build off that. You know, like it's important also to acknowledge the weaknesses of some people, as you guys have acknowledged the strengths also. So, you know, and at the same time, since you guys are friends, you guys can be real. Like, yo, you gotta pick this up, and you know, you won't take it so badly, because at the end of the day, like you said, you guys are friends, and there is that one element that you can't simply just get from, you know, being in work with a bunch of people that you just met, and I think that's the trust. You know, at the end of the day, this guy's never gonna try to shortchange you because he also wants what's best for you. Like,
Yeah.
I think the driving force of your group is just like to make everyone prosper. Nobody here is trying to, you know, steal like everything or anything from one another, and you know, it's just like lifting each other up. And since they are your homies, they'll be real with you too. Like when there are areas that you need to start picking up in, and for each individual personally, I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, but like it's not. Yeah, there are some difficulties with it. No, it's not. Um, a lot of
Not
the
all sunshine and rainbows.
yeah, a lot of the points you made can also be taken the other way. Like when you said when if someone's not pulling their weight, you can just be like, "Hey, man, you're not doing this, this, and this." It can also sometime in the beginning it was hard because not hard, but like
Awkward.
Those
It's
friction,
awkward.
yeah.
awkward, but because it was different. And like as we said, we were teammates. Like on the field, we'd be like, "Yo, shape the fuck up! You gotta like
Yeah.
do it." So we're kind of used to each other like talking like that, so that helps. But there are difficulties. What are some difficulties? I'd say um,
Communication, which was a barrier that we needed to overcome. Still something that will forever be a barrier that will limit us, but we're working along.
Yeah.
We're working
Please.
alongside it.
Case in point, I'm sure that if there were 5 business partners who met up, who weren't friends from childhood or anything, and they had 5 things to talk about, it could maybe be done in an hour. Sometimes when we have our meetings, it
Yeah.
goes like 3-4 hours long.
For the segue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and also
Yeah,
there's like, you know, some people might take criticism a little bit too personally. They might get affected because after all, this is like your brother. So it's like, you know, when he does tell out the fact to you, or when you do call him out, you might take it a little bit more personally because you know that this person means it for sure. And it's like, fuck, why did this like guy say it? You know, he could have said it nicer or whatever. And yeah, there's that whole element because like, you know, when you're working with people that you either just met or just like professionally work with, you know that it's like straight up like criticism, like black and white, because there's no emotions or history piled up behind that, because like since you guys have known each other for so long, there might be like hugot, diba? Like if somebody calls you out, may baka may kasamang ewan dyan. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It's drawing the
Yeah,
line.
but you know,
It's drawing the line that like when we're talking about trying to sell drinks, right, or like making a new drink, the effort and whatever, it's like you just have to draw the line. We're just talking about the business, no, and we're not talking about whatever's happened before. Or
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Another
for sure.
thing. Oh, another thing. So since we like now most of the time we talk about Jesus juice, right? And before we used to be like each other's brothers. We could talk about anything. No, if it was like family problems or problem with a girl or a boy, whatever, it would just be like we could talk, right, and
Yeah,
be open
yeah.
about it. And now not so much because a lot of the time is put into just updates about what we've been doing about the business now. And yun nga, so how do I say this?
no, it's quite. It's
Yeah,
quite.
when,
It's
yeah,
not sad.
when you would when someone like for example one of the partners had a problem, they were going through something and we didn't know about it until it was resolved and everything after, and it was just like we were like, oh, why didn't you bring it up? And it was like, and the reaction was, oh, because there are more important things to talk about. So I guess that could be a hindrance to doing business with your friends, no, because normally that's the group you talk to for your personal problems or your personal things. when you mix that in with the business problems or business concerns, sometimes that will get overshadowed.
Yeah, but at the same time, you guys are, still learning how to work with friends in the first place. And, hopefully that these experiences will only make, you guys like function better in the future.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, just learning how to speak out also. And like you guys always said, like how both of you guys said, you guys are friends first before anything else. So, yeah, I think that's just an important thing to keep in mind, I guess. But yeah, that's dope how you guys have been able to, start a business. Because, I've had so many drunk talks with friends like, yo, we should make this happen. And, probably like, no, yeah, 100%, zero out of all of it actually pushed through. But you guys actually manifested that. So I think that's quite inspirational. And yeah, I guess I want to move into the next topic, which is like, you guys adjusting through quarantine. So before we started the recording, you guys actually mentioned that you initially wanted Jesus Juice to be associated with, social gatherings. Like you mentioned earlier with the Southbound sessions, you guys had bar performances and the Tortuga launch. But for obvious reasons, that can't really work right now. So I guess it leads me to ask, like, how have you guys been able to adjust during the quarantine?
Cheers
That's
muna
quite a
tayo. Cheers muna tayo, guys.
Yeah, cheers.
cheers
Before
muna,
our last
cheers muna.
question, cheers muna, cheers muna.
Alright,
Second to the last pala.
Yeah. So as you said, the strength of the business before was coming into events and supplying the alcohol, selling the alcohol, and giving people a good time, no? After Franklin brought it in, I was working in a co-working studio, so we would be in events like trivia nights, Nook co-working studio. Shout out in Malita. It's a great space.
Shout out.
You need to like
Is it
work
still
for
up?
it. It's still open.
Yeah.
It's still
Yeah,
open,
yeah.
and we are
Nice.
accepting day passes,
Hey,
so you can still go and get it. Yeah.
nice.
Anyway, I was the community manager there for a while before going to Spain, and I would just like ride in on all of the events. That's how we push our sales. 90% of our sales came from the events every Friday, every Saturday night. We also did events outside of Nook, which was we did the vinyl launch that Franklin brought up, Sundrop's album vinyl launch.
Yeah.
And we had an event in a bar in Poblacion.
Tanaw.
Flynn, what's the bar called? Tanaw. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But yun nga, since the pandemic hit, we've kind of had to change the strategy into more of selling individual bottle sales to people.
Yeah, it was quite hard actually. If you want us to answer this question, how were we able to adjust? In the beginning, it was hard because it was, well, for me at least, it was something that I wasn't used to. I'm not someone who sells in a day-to-day basis. Like, I wanted to bring in, Jesus Juice as a way to get people together, vibe. Like, we wanted to curate events. That was more of what my passion was. And obviously, we needed to adjust because if not, then the business is going to die. Like, there's going to be no need for people to do it, right? In the start, it was hard. I remember days when I would call Tuwi every single day and ask him, bro, we need like memes. We need to keep this. We need to keep
How to
this
stay relevant.
Instagram.
How to stay
Yeah.
relevant.
How to stay relevant. We were like, bro, we need memes. Like, first of all, let's focus on memes first because we had no idea. We had no idea that we were gonna sell because we just like ended some sort of event like months prior to the
The sun drop.
closing.
The sun drop
The
vinyl.
Sun Drop, yeah. Sun Drop was the last event that we've had. And then we were like, oh crap, how do we stay relevant? Okay, let's stick to Instagram. Let's just focus on memes first, build a community a little bit. And then that's when I got the call from Jomo. Like, Jomo was like some blessing in disguise. He just came up one day. We obviously we talked naman. We would have like, I believe Wednesdays. Every Wednesdays we would have calls with the business just to touch bases. And then Jomo was some blessing in disguise. He was like, bro, like, we have an opportunity here. Let's seize it.
Yes.
because right now I'm super free. Like I have a lot of time on my hands. I can help you out. Tuwi was in Spain. I was in the UK, and Jomo, Paul, and Andre were all in the Philippines. Paul was in Laguna, which is further from Manila, and like Andre was in BGC, and Jomo was also actually pretty far. Not gonna lie, but basically Jomo was saying he had more time in his hands at this point. At this point, he was like,
Yeah.
I have time in my hands. Let's try and do, let's say, bottle sales. Let's focus muna on bottle sales because we won't be having events anymore. I can make the bottles. I'll come up with like a production process. We'll update like Google Sheets. I'll like fix the spendings, everything. He came up with formulas, and like he was basically able to break down how we were gonna sell, how we were gonna profit, what our projected sales were, etc. He came up with all the numbers, and I was like, damn, he's super like Jomo has this sort of like he's
Like machine
into
talaga.
he's a machine when it comes to these
He
things.
works so much
he
now.
wants to break it down. Yeah, every time we have like a purchase or anything, we consult Jomo because we're like, will this be beneficial to the company? Are we able to afford this? What's
Yeah.
our goal, etc. And
So-
that's still what we do to this day.
Yeah.
Blessing in this guy.
Blessing in this guy, exactly.
I
Yeah,
think
mad props to him.
what do you call this? It was the Sun Drop event that because Jomo, yeah, as we say, he's a busy guy. His main role in the business is one, keeping track of the numbers. Secondary role would be like selling, as with everyone, no. But that Sun Drop event, I remember Jomo, he went to that event and was there like
He had
actually
a revelation.
yeah.
In short, he had a
That
revelation.
event, he was like, he called us up and he was just like, my gosh, this drink is so good. The reaction you get from people is crazy. And like, of course it's fun. You're in this event selling drinks, right? And I was like, yeah, man, this is what I've been telling you, like in Nook and all of that. Like, that's how much fun it is and that's how much potential there is. And from there, he really like, so the entire time in quarantine while I was still in Spain, Jomo like took 100% of the production. He was doing he would make the bottles, he would buy the ingredients, everything.
He would deliver the bottles
He would
by
deliver, he would book the riders. Yeah.
Damn, shout out to Joe Phils. Blessing in this guy.
Dude, like, let me just say this. Our biggest month yet, we sold 250 bottles, and that was Jomo. Like, Jomo, obviously, we also helped out a bit, but that was mainly him. Like, he was, like, pushing 100%. His parents were involved, like, selling in their workplace. Like, he had the whole family involved, and it was just great. Like, it's inspiring, like, to see someone just be like, yo, bro, I believe in this product so much. Like, I believe in Jesus Juice. That's what he would always tell me. Like, every time we would have a problem or something, like, he would mention the problem, but he would be like, dude, I really care about this cassette. Like, there's so much potential with this. Like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and there really is, man. Like, throughout this quarantine, with the little social interactions I had, because I'm not gonna lie, I had a couple, but very very small groups, maximum of like 5 people, and we'd bring a couple of drinks. I'd bring like beer, or like one time I brought Jesus Juice, and I think most of the times I'd see Jesus Juice there, and I was just like, wow. I mean, given the fact that we have more or less the same circle of friends, so we know more or less the same people, but still, it was still like I guess like it was nice to see that you guys were still able to be very relevant even despite these quarantine times, and I think if anything, you guys actually grew throughout this quarantine. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but
no, we did
you guys
actually.
grew a bit.
We did. We've seen more sales with this quarantine than prior to the quarantine. That was due to the fact that we started aligning now with bottle sales. And we sort of had this process now where we could align with couriers such as Grab, Lalamove, etc. And it's good because we have one of our friends named Miggy Garcia who's launching a courier service called Jago.
Shout out to Miggy, friend of the pod.
Shout out to him. Shout out to Jago as well. Hopefully, given the circumstances, we'll be able to align with them as well and to see, how far we can actually get this product going. But yeah, it was just a blessing in disguise being able to sort of shift so seamlessly in that sense, because it was something that we already have been doing, but not something that we prioritized, because we were selling bottles on, like let's say, okay, given an example, we have a event. We sell set number of bottles in the event, and then whatever's left, we bottle everything up, and then after that, we sell the stock that we have. So that was always how we operated. Whatever we had left over from the event, we would sell. And then that's when Joma was like, we can just continue doing that. We don't need to wait for an event. We just need to bottle everything. I'll crunch down the numbers. We'll make it a lot more cost efficient for us, and then we'll make a higher profit. And yeah, from there we were able to determine suitable shelf life, which is a month, which is not refrigerated, 2 months, which is refrigerated, and then from there, yeah, we just started selling again.
That's awesome, man.
It
And
did not feel seamless though. It did not feel seamless at all.
yeah, no, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, it didn't. Okay, it didn't feel seamless, but it was an idea that was there from the start. So it was like, okay, this is about time that we start doing this again. And from there, like, we were invited to sell in different virtual markets. We had Look, we had Manila Fling, which were the first virtual markets that actually accepted us. And we were like, wow, it's actually really good to have a place to sell, because it makes it a lot easier for us, a lot higher reach now, and we don't need to necessarily work on the marketing. And also, before we move on, I just wanna say something, like, how have we been able to adjust during the quarantine? One of the things that we honestly take for granted is our significant others. Like, I would say that my girlfriend, Neve Bell, shout out to you, I love you.
Shout out to
They
Eve.
Neve, yeah, Neve. They help, like, your girlfriends, boyfriends, whichever, they help you out so much when it comes to your entrepreneurial journey, and they've just been the most supportive, like, human beings out there. So I just wanted to give a
100%.
shout out to them, and I'm sure Tuwi, you want to do the same.
Yeah, for
Eve.
sure, dude. That's important, no? I mean,
Yeah.
It is.
I think the number one thing, so having these two ventures now, I think the number one thing is confidence in your product. Because
You gotta believe.
because let's be real, when you start something, how do you sell first? You message your friends, your family, acquaintances, if they want to buy, if they want to try your shit. And how can you do that if you're not 100% confident in your product, right? You're not like, I mean, before I used to think that I wouldn't be the type to go up and like randomly message people being like, hey, try my things, try my food, try this drink. But then if you really believe in your product, then you'll be fine doing it. And how do you
Yeah,
get
dude.
to the point? It's having the people around you pushing you and saying that, yes, what you do have is really good and can be
Yeah, it's not even that. Yeah, it's owning it. Like, it's
Yeah.
the fact that, like, this is your thing. Like, Tui, Jomo, Paul, Andre, me, like, this is our thing. Like, we go into someone, and I'm not fucking ashamed to show, like, to message my friends like, hey guys, if you want to buy blah blah blah. I wouldn't feel here. It's my fucking venture, bro. Like, this is our thing. Like, why would we feel here to show people, like, this is our passion? So that's one of the things also. Don't be afraid to come up with new ideas. Like, we always preach in Jesus Juice, our slogans, which is mix it up your way, which we always go with. Like, have a chance to just sit down, think of an idea, and start it. Like, or just, like, have your own way of doing something, make it your own. Like, this is it. That's it.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And I'm sure that athlete's mentality also plays an effect in sales too, because, like, especially with baseball and in sales, I feel like they have a lot of correlation together, because it's an industry slash sport where there's a lot of failure. You know, whether you like it or not, you're gonna fail more often than you succeed. But it's all
Yeah,
about,
very
like you
true.
said, being confident with what you got, knowing that you put in the work, knowing that you put in the hours of making your product the best it could be. And as long as you believe in it, and you got the support also from your significant others, I feel like that can go a long way. And I personally believe in your drink. It's fucking delicious. I'm done. This is more or less the finish, and I'm fucking hammered. I finished the entire bottle by myself, and
Yeah, buddy.
yeah, like I super believe in this product. It's super tasty, and I think it's also perfect for quarantine because you don't have to go so hard all the time. You could enjoy it with your favorite TV show after a long day working at home, or you can have it over dinner with your family. But you can also go hard now with the Judas juice. You guys got options, and
Yeah, and
yeah,
a bunch of people. Yeah, sorry, a bunch of people have like I've known 3 or 4 people who have the drink and then they mix their own other liquor in it, which goes
Yeah.
back to the slogan "Mix it up your way." The drink is light enough and evenly made enough that you can add more rum, you can add whiskey, whatever you're into the drink.
that's
Yep.
great.
If you want to go
I
ham, right?
Yeah, if you want to go ham. And yeah, I'm happy that you guys are doing well and I hope you guys prosper. So, I guess we'll move on to my last question of the pod. And it's a little bit deeper, but since we're on some pretty deep conversations right now, it would be perfect time to drop it. And it's called What is your why? So, why do you do the things that you do every day? What keeps you motivated and what is your reason to be?
Why?
What do you mean why? 'Cause you can't.
So, any of you boys can
Um,
start.
what is my why? That's actually quite a hard question. Can we cheers muna? Cheers. Muna.
Cheers muna tayo.
Whoever has
there.
Downers na, downers na, downers na.
Downers na, downers
I'm
na.
pretty much done, so
Easy.
damn, I'm gonna sleep like a
Easy.
baby.
Yeah, you are, dude, definitely.
Sleep like a Judas.
Sige, I'll start na lang. I'll start too, yeah.
Sige,
Go,
sige.
go, go.
What is your why? Why do we well, for me naman, why why do we do Jesus Juice? I just want to I want to relate it to Jesus
Yeah.
Juice.
That's fine.
Well, we want to give an avenue for people to be creative. We want to make sure that people are in a good sort of state of mind. We think that although we're not saying that alcohol is needed for you to come up with all these new ideas, radical changes, but it helps. Like a little bit of alcohol doesn't hurt you to, be a little bit more relaxed, help you come up with, let's say, some new art, new music. So why is Jesus Juice like? Why do we do the things we do in Jesus Juice? And that's just to promote a fun, loving, creative environment. And that's always what I've been preaching for ever since the start. And this is why we align with southbound sessions, why we align with bars, why we align with our friends. And that's because we trust in them. We believe if we go to a bar and there's Jesus Juice available, we're guaranteed to make you enjoy. Like we'll have music that caters for you guys, and we have the drink there, which is the catalyst for fun. For Southbound sessions, also, we want to promote the Filipino talent, which is gaining popularity now that we have a lot of international singers from the Philippines, international acts as well, coming to the Philippines. They love it here. It's just
no, not mosaic, but like
art at the
art,
end
basta
of,
art, yeah.
and we tried doing that in that bar lunch in Tanao, but like no, that shit's messy.
It
We were
is
like,
messy,
oh
for
shit, it
sure.
actually doesn't make sense right now
Yeah,
in the
but-
bar.
Yeah, for the
But we had it all
floor
set
and
up,
then the
everything,
background.
but we were like, man, cleaning up this mess at that like prime
Yeah.
Not
time
worth.
Yeah,
is
it's
just like,
it's a no for me, dog.
there's no way we can
Yeah.
tip the waiters enough to clean that up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. But
No,
yeah, that's
but
great.
imagine this though. Imagine like how we were gonna do it. It was gonna be like a blank canvas with the logo of Jesus Juice, which is just covered out, no, like so it leaves space for like the face of Jesus with the tongue sticking out, and then the balloons are around it. So people when they buy certain drinks, I don't know how we came up with like how they were able to participate, but anyways, like they would throw the darts into the balloons, it would pop, spread out, etc., make a mosaic sort of like design. Then we peel out the covering for the Jesus Juice face, and then inside that face, people were just gonna like put their signatures or say like what their favorite drink is or like etc. Like we were just thinking, maybe we
Yeah,
can be a little bit
that
more
would've been
creative
sick.
with this. Like we're curating our own events, so might as well have free reign.
Yeah, maybe if you use like watercolor, it would have been possible. Bawal boysen. Boysen would have been a
Boys
would have
and
been a
Dane.
would have been a problem.
oil
But-
paint is a no.
Oil paints or something that's a little bit easier to clean. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome, guys. I love how your product is really driven by art, by music, by friendship, and like most importantly, love, because that's like the common denominator between all of those things. And
That's right.
I think, I think with that type of motive, you guys are gonna go like a long way. So I guess I want to wrap up the pod by saying thank you again for being on the show. Honestly, had so much
Thank you for
fun
having
talking
us.
with you guys. Yeah, and learning about a lot of about the alcohol industry and running a business with friends as well. But before I go, I guess now would be a perfect time for y'all to plug in where people can find Jesus Juice or your other businesses or even your personal accounts.
Sure. Let me start by saying, guys, if you want to follow us or order from us, we have Judas Juice selling right now, which is an amazing product. Like, people love this stuff.
Steak sauce.
So follow us. Steak sauce. Did you say steak sauce?
Yeah, I did say steak sauce.
Anyway, it's not steak
A1,
sauce.
baby.
It's Judas Juice. But like,
I meant
follow
A1.
us
Yeah.
A1.
How I Met Your Mother reference.
Eh.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Didn't get that. Anyways.
Anyway,
Follow us.
sorry, my bad.
Follow us at Jesus Juice Drink. So that's at Jesus Juice Drink. And you can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook. We also have a Twitter, but the Twitter Medj sus, bro. Don't like if you want to go in there, go ahead.
It's okay. Twitter's dead. Honestly, like
Yeah.
it's not that much anymore. Instagram's the place to be.
Follow the drinks
Um,
we just launched now. We've got bottles ready to be shipped to you and your next Zoom inuman or inuman with family,
You know,
Speaking of family, Fambam Favorites, guys.
Yes, sir.
Follow
Fambam
them on Facebook.
Favorites.
Yeah. So that's the frozen foods I was talking about in the start. On
Mhm.
Instagram at Fambam Fave, Fave, Fambam Fave. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Facebook, Fambam Fave. Yeah.
And if you by the chance live in Alabang 400, shout out to A400 Hoops. in
A400
Instagram.
Who's Mr. Jerome Mello. You know, let's just give shout outs to everyone. You know, Toki Tempura, A400 Hoops,
Tokyo Tempura as well. Sarap.
Yung uni oven.
Comrade Bao, Bukas Flask. You know, lahat,
Southbound
baby.
Sessions.
Southbound
Road Flow
Sessions.
PH.
Road Flow PH, No One's Homies podcast, No One's
No
Home
One's
music.
Homies as well.
You know, it's all love. Like that it's your motive, connecting people together, an environment for love and, you know, prosperity. So
Shout out
all right.
kay Jericho Rosales.
Ay, kaibigan ko yun, ha?
Sige. the baller Jericho Rosales, I guess. Shout out to him. But all right, so I guess that's about does it.
Ay, Enchong
thank you.
D pala, pare. Parang Enchong D.
Oy,
Enchong
parang
D.
Enchong D.
Enchong D.
You're sending him a
kilala
bottle.
ko yun. Oy,
Belated
nice.
happy birthday.
Belated happy birthday,
to you,
Enchong. If
Enchong.
you're listening to this, he was actually in the podcast in my podcast episode of Ria for a bit, but yeah,
No?
shout out to Enchong D, and yeah, that about does it. I want to thank you all listeners for tuning in to another episode of the Raucous Modern Life podcast. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that follow on Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram so that you never miss an episode. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.
Thanks, Rocket. Thanks for having us.
Thank you,
For
Rocket.
show.